Hello, YouTube. This is my, well, actually, maybe I should introduce it this way. I haven't been here for a while. I've been kind of cooking up something really, really nice in the tank, to say the least. We had a little bit of a challenge at our locals, and it was to build a singleton or a Highlander deck, for those who are interested in like Magic and other things like that. It's called like Commander, so it's like just a singleton format. And I decided to take basically a sold combo, make a sold, and yeah, you kill them. There's not much more about it. Isolde is just kind of one of those degenerate cards that is surrounded by the, let's say, the warrior typing, and I like to bring you this sort of singleton deck profile. I did fairly well in the tournament. There was a lot of locals that I went to that I was testing this out, and bless everybody's heart, they just sat through me, and I just basically can, by the title below, you've kind of realized that this is FTK. So a lot of just solitaire hands and killing people by, you know, reducing their life points to 0. So because it's singleton, it's kind of formatted a little bit differently than the regular deck profile would be. And I'd like to take the chance to do that. We'll go pretty swift. Because it was a singleton, one of the deck requirements was that it had to be 60 cards, one of every kind following the ban list, and you could not run Orbital Highlander because it's pretty broken in this format. So I'll go ahead and set off this to the side here, and I'll kind of go over a few of the tech choices. So of course, it's gonna surround itself with Armageddonite. All these cards right here are the one card starters. They literally get me to the whole combo by itself. I don't need any other card. If I have one of these and everything else is still in my deck that's not an engine requirement, I just win the game. You can kind of all tell that some of these do require an additional card with them. So probably out of anything, you have these as your superior starters, and then these are kind of like your pseudo starters that you can, if you have a card that works with it, generally this can search any one of these, and this can start the combo by itself without having to worry about or just having to worry about pitching a card. So we have those to start, and then I have what are known as the, let's see, what is known as the superior extenders. Joker's Knight, the junk forward, well, I guess this is probably more considered a brick, but regardless of any such thing, all of these you can generally foolish any of the Phantom Knight cards and get started that way. This can special summon itself for free. If you control no monsters, you get these cards right here. And this requires a brick to be in your deck, but it's better than nothing because it doesn't Xenolock you. So with everything, we have those. So this is actually a requirement for the Neospatian, but this can be summoned from hand too, so that's really, really nice. Moving on, real quick, I'll just kind of note that if you wanted to see the combo tutorial for this video, or for this deck specifically, go ahead and just leave a like, comment, spam the comment section, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and I will get to making a combo tutorial for you if you're interested in that, I guess. These are going to be my level 1s that I have in the deck, because it specifically works with Jack in the Hand. The reason why I chose these were, 1, they're warriors, and 2, this kind of helps me dig a little further into my deck if I don't see combo right away. But 90% of my deck is warriors, and the percentage of seeing starter plus extender plus, you know, the odds of seeing a warrior is extremely high in this deck, and all I wanted to do was be able to FTK them, and so giving them your opponent a card is not going to do anything in the grand scheme of things because the game is going to end after turn 1, which is ridiculous. The fact that this actually exists. Now, the following cards are all I would call pseudo-extenders. All of these cards require something to be going right for them to happen. In order for you to do Level Warrior can special summon itself if your opponent controls a monster. Dark Grepher, you need to have a Dark in hand in order for you to play. You have to have a level 3 with Trident Warrior, a Spell Engrave for Spell Striker. You need to normal summon a Warrior for the Blue Mountain Butterspy. You need to have an extra Warrior for the Goblinberg Captain. Actually, kind of a real note with these, what's really cool is if you open up bricks and an extender, a superior extender by any means, these can get the bricks out of your hand and actually continue to FTK them still, which are really, really nice, thought process to all this. This needs an equip. This needs an equip engrave. This you need to call the top card of your deck correctly, and it's kind of my way to out certain floodgate cards. These are going to be the Phantom Knights that work with the deck, and then of course you have Empowerment, which is probably not a card you've seen in a while. This was played in some OCG builds to summon out some pendulum monsters back in the day, but it actually summons a Fire Warrior from the deck that I'll get to a little bit. Some of these, we're kind of moving pretty fast through this. I was running the right package, of course, because everything runs the right. You probably never seen this card. Menagor, this card is a Fire Warrior, so you can search it off of your Fateful Adventure, and it's very super nice. I didn't run Griffin. Griffin was side-decked because depending on what I was going first, going second, I wanted to have a little bit more of a punch to my going second version, even though it was going to require me sacrificing a little bit of my consistency, but at least breaking boards is a lot easier if you can draw the right, even though this is just terrible to draw, but it's an equip, so we take those. And then I ran the Therions. These barely came out. Guess what? They made a Fire Warrior monster. So what's actually really cool about this specific interaction, I like just being able to negate something. It's really, really super nice. But if you can get a Fire Warrior, or if you can get a Warrior monster in the graveyard, you can equip to the Bull, and you can actually make full combo by himself if you were to, have a lot of things going right. One of which is, where's the card? Let me try to find it here. I think I might not be there yet. There's a card in here so there's a card in here that you can equip to it and actually make full combo, which is kind of crazy. So that's the reason why I had that. It's just because it's kind of like a pseudo-extender. If you have setup, making a sold is very integral part of the game for you to be able to play. Of course, I run Engage. Engage is Engage. This is freaking broken. The fact that it creates a warrior monster is nuts. And then you have the bricks. I decided to run Pretty Queen's Knight, the Squeak Knight, and your empowered warrior monster that you summon out from the deck. If you draw this card sucks. If you draw this card, it's kind of awful. If you manage to get into the graveyard, this is the card that if you can equip to the Therion Bull, you just equip to it, and then Squeak Knight special summons itself, you make a soul. Easy. It's pretty funny. Nobody likes to see or draw into vanilla monsters, but it is what it is. Some of the other cards that I ran, I ran Magician Souls, so of course I have Chaos. This helps get rid of the bricks, put them back, and still maintain combo. There are only 3 major cards in the deck that really hurt to draw because the combo becomes very difficult to accomplish if they're in your hand rather than in the deck. Now for all the engine requirements. All the equips, you have your Cursed, searching out your Broken Bamboo Sword, Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade. You have your Durandal, which is kind of considered an extender. DDR, kind of help you do multiple Assault activations if need be, and then of course your other extenders. I run 8 just in case, if one gets stopped, then you can send the other. There's the other equip. Where did the other one go? This one. So if I ran 8 entirely, so if one gets stopped, then if you have a way of, maintaining 4 still in deck, you can still pretty much accomplish the same combo. But generally, you're just going to kill them by attacking with a lot of monsters. Now, these are for all the engine requirements. You have Blackwing Elite Zephyros. All FTKs kind of require this card, I feel like lately. Just being able to bounce recur from graveyard is very important and integral. You got Summoner Monk, which is extremely based because you summon out your Rescue Ferret. Rescue Ferret shuffles itself back into the deck to special summon a monsters that equal up to level 6 to zones a link monster points to. So this is very, very important to summon these 2, which all 3 of these are the biggest culprits of not being able to accomplish the FTK. These have to stay in deck 100% of the time, unless, of course, you have a way to get them out of hand during the middle of the combo, or if you can do all of your... if you can special summon warrior monsters and not worry about your normal summon for the turn, these can just be normal summoned out of hand. You have each one of these cards, when sent to the graveyard in their specific manner, searches you, the Vylon Cube searches you the telekinetic charging cell, which, once again, it's kind of broken, and this card searches you, your FTK, Cyberstein. Yep, that's it. That's a Cyberstein FTK. It's not. They brought this card back. I know this is relatively degenerate, but sometimes you have to show people what the game is capable of, just so that you know that certain cards can get banned again. Now to the extra deck, real quick. This is going to be pretty straightforward. Every single one of these cards, I think, is required to play because certain lines get you to specific monsters that allow you to keep playing and then proceed to FTK them. So we'll start with the biggest culprit, Isolde. Isolde is an absolute house. Amazing card. You go into Akashic Magician. Akashic is can be technically swapped out for the Dark Charmer, which is also a dark spellcaster. It's important that it is a dark spellcaster for the specific lines leading up into what I'll be showing you next. But it's just because the Dark Charmer points down, but this requires 2 of the same type, so it's a little bit easier to get a hold of when your entire deck is warriors. But you make Selene. Selene brings back your spellcaster monster, and then you further link off into a copy of Isolde. This is an engine requirement. This has to be main deck because you have to link off the Summoner Monk as part of the combo, and get 5 Darks engraved so you can summon out the Mirage. And then, of course, you have the Reproducus to change your Cyberstein to Psychic. So those are all the link monsters. All the required link monsters, I guess, is where that goes from. And then you go into Timeless. Timeless detaches 2, special summons out the Armageddon Knight back. It's pretty great. And then this card just proceeds to half your opponent's life points and make it super easy for you to reduce them by the specific amount that you need. This is the card that you make as part of your Synchro engine, and then the biggest culprits of this you make. You first activate Cyberstein to bring the Nightingale out. Honestly, this card can go and this entire FTK dies, and there will never ever be an FTK that involves this card, stuff like this ever again. So just get rid of this card. Sandwich, ultimate monster. It's really the best fusion to go into, and then this is a warrior monster that's level 6. So I was at one point running ready fusion and instant fusion. So I was making this card, and I was making what was the other card? Flame Swordsman. Flame Swordsman was the other target for instant fusion. So if you wanted to do full combo, and you just wanted to kill them going second, you can just use the instant fusion. You can use the ready fusion to special out more, but I ended up scrapping the idea because a card came up way more often in testing. And then, of course, you copy the Nightingale with the Crystal Bell and kill them. Yay. Not trying to explain everything. I want you to be able to watch the other video. These are the other two cards, last two cards that I think are required. This shuffles back Sayujas. This shuffles back your Isolde back. Generally, if you have a really decent hand, that way you can continue to either, if you can't FTK them going first and they stop you, then when they pass back to you, if they don't kill you, then you can do it again. And then this card is specifically a Fire Warrior, and it's generic. So if you happen to have a lot of weird monsters for whatever reason, and you haven't made Isolde yet, or you have a lot of extra monsters on board that you haven't been able to get rid of, then you can link off into this, and it just creates another body on board that you can link off into other things. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to explain down from the basis of it. Anyway, yeah, so that's the deck. I really exhausted. I had a long day yesterday, and I am glad to get rid of this deck by any means. There's not much I can say other than if you were satisfied with the deck profile, go ahead and hit a like and comment, like I said earlier, and if you want to see a combo tutorial, down below, let me know. Peace.